Hi everyone, I'm Richie. So there's been demonstrations pretty much every single day the last couple weeks. And a lot of that has been driven by the students and the encampments, which is amazing. Like, because I feel like at the beginning of this latest struggle in the movement to free Palestine, because we know it did not begin October 7th. At the beginning of this latest chapter, it seemed like there was so much energy, and then it kind of went down a little bit for like a couple weeks, where there wasn't like 5 demonstrations a day. I kind of hit a little bit of a lull for a while until April, when the encampments kind of shot life back into the movement. Not that it was ever dead, but now it's just I can't believe where we're at, to also kind of touching upon the level of consciousness. This past actually yesterday was Nakba Day, and in Queens, within our lifetime, they organized a demonstration there, and it was just probably one of the best demonstrations I've been to in a while, just because there were just so much support for the resistance, and there was just a lot of chanting in Arabic that I cannot try to repeat right now. I'm practicing though, I literally have them written down, and I'm learning them. But there's a lot more, there's a different consciousness now that I feel I'm seeing way more than even back in October, where a lot of the chants are in support of the different factions within the resistance, and just very revolutionary. It's think about where we began, ceasefire now was kind of the mainstream chant, and then it's now it's long live resistance, glory to our martyrs. And yesterday it was very apparent that it's not just the few of us revolutionaries that were going to these massive demonstrations, right, for ceasefire now, where we were we had our little victory to the Palestinian resistance signs. But now this is becoming a mainstream position to have in the movement. Yesterday, sorry, I'm allergies right now. Yesterday, which I thought was amazing too, is there was one person in the in the crowd that had a flag of Abu Ubaidah, who's the spokesperson for the Al-Qassam brigades. Everybody who's on Telegram, Resistance News Network, we read a lot of his statements and we follow, him very closely. So to see a huge flag of him, with the Palestine flag behind that, was amazing. And then when that person came, when the organizers of the march spotted the flag, they asked that person to come closer to the front so that flag could be more visible to the bigger crowd. So yeah. Yeah, so it's and everybody was cheering, and it's just it was one of those moments where I'm wow, this movement to support the resistance armed struggle, it's growing, because we know that's how Palestine is going to be liberated. It's going to be liberated through revolutionary armed struggle. So we need to kind of get the idea that Palestine will be free because of the ICC supposedly going after Netanyahu. Come on, really? Which war criminal has ever been tried? Which Western war criminal has ever been tried? It's not gonna happen. Slap that idea out of your head. It's not gonna happen through the ICJ. So we need to support the resistance, and we need this global movement to support them. So to see the growth of where the movement is going is just incredible, and that was very apparent yesterday. I guess I'll talk a little bit about Bronx anti-war, because we have a couple of Bronx anti-war folks here. So very recently, I think it was like last week. Sorry, because everything is just kind of blurred in my mind, and like I'm losing track of dates. But I think it was about a week or so ago. We partnered with Healthcare Workers for Palestine, and we did a demonstration. Well, the healthcare workers, some of which were constituents of Richie Torres as well. They went into Richie Torres' office unannounced. And for folks that don't know, Richie Torres is the Congress member who represents the South Bronx. It's the poorest urban congressional district in the country, and he's completely, obviously, abandoned like any of our needs to support this genocide. And he's also like basically using his identity to deflect any criticism of his support for the genocide. He's basically saying like that, trying to insinuate that we're outside agitators, that we're being like, discriminatory because of his identities as an Afro-Latino gay person. But the irony is that like everybody who's criticizing him is like a person of color, we're queer, we're part of these identities. That's who is criticizing you right now. Not only that, also Jewish members of Bronx Anti-War are also criticizing you. So but he's still trying to paint us as like anti-Semitic and all this stuff. So that's why he's a big target in the movement. And the healthcare workers, they read this amazing statement in his office. It was filmed and it was widely shared online, and I think it's really important for like Bronx people to really kind of just know this about who is so-called their representatives, because that's kind of like one of the first, I think, steps in like really building consciousness. It's like understanding that like, no, we can't just vote this person out and replace them with another person. We got to be against the system, as Larry said. So it's like, understanding that is like kind of like a first step in like, building a revolution. So it's like, we think that this is very important work to expose these like fraud politicians. Afterwards, they marched to Fordham Plaza and we did a rally there. I think we had like maybe like 70 to 80 people that showed up, but like also think about it, it was 2 p.m. on a Friday. So I think that's a big success. For the Bronx especially. And then we took a liberated train ride down to Washington Square to kind of support the encampments, and there was like a big march that happened there that day. But what I really loved about it is that we also got to shut down the D line for about 15 minutes because basically, like, the conductor wasn't moving the train because we were on there. Basically, like, we think, like, obviously they were told by the police not to move the train. And then, like, eventually, like, we ended up, like, moving to a different car and, like, moving forward. But that was pretty fun to do. Because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to create disruption. We're supposed to march in the streets. We're supposed to like shut shit down. And if your action isn't doing that, then you're not doing it right. So anyway, Nakba Day Part 2 will be this Saturday in Bay Ridge. We're doing another liberated train ride down. And yeah, we're gonna continue to like try to bring as many Bronx people into the movement as possible. So that's all.